Hey Devin, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. I'm going to go through and talk about your mechanics in your video and sort of get you to a point where you're timing yourself up a little bit differently to really use your body. It's just a matter of that initial setup to really get that timing for everything. We'll go through and talk a little bit more about that. We'll look at that initial setup. The way you start dictates so much how you finish. It's just as important as any other step in your delivery. So we'll go and look at that, and then just basically key in on what's driving the delivery, what drives mechanics, or what drives velocity, what drives the power, and it's the legs and the hips. So we got to make sure that you're using those legs and those hips and just generating a lot more power. But for your age especially, you have a real good sense of how your body's working, how your mechanics are working. Now it's just a matter of just a few little adjustments here, so as you get older and stronger, it's going to be something that you can really benefit from. Alright, so initially what we look at, we'll go and look at the start here. Alright, so from the wind-up, you're doing a good job at not doing a whole lot of movement. It looks like you're keeping your eyes on the catcher, which is good. So especially once that leg gets up, we got to make sure that we're keeping our eye on the catcher. And so basically, our whole goal of our start of our delivery is getting ourselves into a powerful position. All right, and basically anytime, any sort of athletics, we want to try to get away from block joints, straight joints. All right, so your initial setup, as this leg's coming up, we got to feel our weight on that inside part of that knee. We got to be active with our back hip. This knee, everything wants to start going forward. And just get to a point where this is just kind of a wasted movement, unnecessary. It kind of comes up, that foot never really gets down, and then you sort of lead with that leg, and you're really not getting into the hips as much. What we want to try to get you to is basically, here's the height of your leg kick, about right here. All right, it's good that it's over that back foot, but we want to try to get our foot somewhere just kind of hanging down, perpendicular to the ground. All right, we just want a nice neutral position with everything to get our hips in that position to lead down the hill. All right, we want that knee to start leading, that knee to start going, those hips to start leading. All right, so just get that foot down a little bit more. Don't really just kind of kick it up, and that'll get you in a lot easier position. Another thing too is once that knee gets to its highest point, we want hips to start going first. We want that foot to start going down, then we want to have that ball pop out of that glove. Alright, so you can see as you're going down, those hands still don't break until about right here. So you're dropping your hands down, so just initially try to get them set more so around your chest, around your belly button. Alright, and that will get rid of that sort of that timing, that late hands. Alright, basically, starting your hands up high doesn't add any arm strength, doesn't add velocity. It just adds timing problems. So it does more to kind of hamper you than it does to help. All right. So just get to that point. So once we start forward, we should be seeing this ball come out of that glove. So you can see that you're just late. All right. But you're doing good at sort of maintaining your posture. You're getting back a little bit over that back hip. All right. That's fine. You're getting that glove out onto that front foot. All right, now the more that you can see your hips get going, you won't see yourself sort of get this foot out so quickly. You're going to see your hips leading a lot farther down the mound, and you're just going to be generating more power. All right. So I mentioned, you're breaking your hands late. So all that sort of equates to is that your arm's going to drag through your delivery. So you can see out here, you're getting back here at your foot strike. So this is one of the second most important parts we look at, is that foot strike. Alright, so once that front foot hits the ground is right here. Alright, and you can see your arm, that elbow's still below your shoulder, and your arm hasn't come to its highest point. Alright, so that ball just stays down, gets here, and now here's your highest point up here. Alright, we want to try to get to that foot strike somewhere around that same level, alright, because we want that ball to be going downhill. We don't want to be pushing that ball. Alright, so back around here, we're going to want to try to see that elbow somewhere closer to shoulder height, that ball somewhere here, around this way, All right, so you're just up at that height, and now everything's coming straight downhill. All right, so and that's just because you broke your hands late. Your arm's dragging. All right, so the more you can time that up and get those hands going quicker, you're going to have more time for that arm to get up to that high path. All right, and so this just isn't powerful. It puts you up for a little bit risk of injury. So just make sure that you're breaking your hands earlier. Lower half wise is pretty solid. All right, you're on line. That back foot's starting to turn. All right, you're starting to get a little bit of sense of that torque, which is your hips rotating before your shoulders, so you got that torque going. All right, now it's just a matter of just that sort of getting that arm path a little bit better. All right, glove wise too, you're starting to pull off that glove a little bit. You can see that glove kind of come forward, and we want to try to get that glove as much forward as possible, so there's no movement forward or back with it. So we're just rotating that elbow down, getting that chest out towards the glove, and just keep that front shoulder, that front elbow closed a little bit longer, and that'll store up a little bit more energy for you. All right, and then through release, all right, you can see how we're going to key in on this back foot here. All right, so everything's looking good, and then as you come forward, you're starting to see this knee start to stiffen. All right, before that previous one, so you're seeing start to stiffen early, and then you see your foot kind of pop up off the ground. So you see that daylight there, and so there you've lost your legs. If you think about punching someone, you want to have 2 feet on the ground to drive through that back leg. 1 foot on the ground, you're going to be able to generate a whole lot of power and force. All right, so through that release, we want to try to see you stay through that back leg a lot longer, and instead of straightening up this knee so early, we're going to take more load and we're going to drive more through our back leg to try to create that angle. So then at this point, you'd probably be about right here with your knee. You'd have that knee right over your ankle. You'd be straight through that back leg, and then you'd be farther out here. So now that head and that chest is going to be out over that front foot, instead of back here. So you're going to pick up a whole lot of extra release point. You're basically probably going to be releasing the ball down here, which is going to give you, more angle. It's going to jump on the hitter a lot quicker. So just try to get, more transfer of that load forward on that front knee, and then you'll be able to drive out over that front foot. So you're just kind of cutting yourself off with your legs a little bit, but you have that foundation there. You have that sort of that understanding. Now it's just getting that initial, setup, getting those hips in that right position, and then starting your hands a lot quicker. Just once you feel that leg start to go down, your hips start to lead, break those hands and get that hand moving, get that ball out on that glove, get it up, and then let everything happen through your foot strike. So hopefully you had a great summer this year. Thanks for making it out to camp, and we look forward to seeing you again with ABC.